Ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing our Roman Empire single-player playthrough. This is kind of a roleplay game, not like multiplayer, but still roleplay. In the beginning, we had an unsuccessful Berlusconi government that was so incompetent that it led to all far-right nationalistic factions getting under one umbrella party, under the Alleanza Nationale, calling for the return of the Roman Empire and the creation of a new emperor in Rome. After failing to get a majority in the election in 2004, I think, 2003 or 4, Alleanza Nationale dissolved parliament and declared elections to be illegal in the Italian Republic, wherein they proclaimed a new Roman Empire and instilled Gueseppe Galli onto the imperial throne in Rome. Ever since then, we have begun to rebuild our military with our conquests of Libya and Algeria. To begin with, we have taken back old Carthage. From there, we will take back all of our former territories. In addition, Gueseppe Galli, after the conquest of these regions, decided that we must hold off on more military expansion until such times as the internal problems of Rome have been dealt with. All right, wonderful. We have stopped the brain drain. Our country has become so much more prosperous, and there are so many opportunities here that no longer do our youth go into other countries to try and find work and a future. Now we're going to deal with the debt problem. The irresponsible spending of the past decade has left Italy with a significant amount of government debt. We have a moral responsibility to address the issue, and we cannot let our children and grandchildren pay for our foolishness. Reduce expenses. Austerity measures might not be popular, but they will reduce our deficit and help make our debt more sustainable. I actually don't know what this does. It's been a while. I keep not pausing because I've been playing so much multiplayer. I think I can't pause, and I'm like, wait, I'm in single player. I can actually pause the game now. You know you've been playing too much multiplayer when we'll turn Sicily into a office complex hub. Sicily, instead of being a quiet, non-economically wealthy region, will become a hub for Roman business. Roman Empire police are storming the hideouts of several of the major mafia families. We will take no quarter, no prisoners. Everyone in there will die, so that once and for all we can wipe out this plague upon our people. Here we go. Cleared. We got them. They're dead. They're gone. Cosa Nostra and Sacra Corona Unita, in a joint operation planned by Gueseppe Galli himself, the emperor, raided the hideouts of both of the mafia families and killed everyone inside. As such, the mafia families are effectively dead and gone. Wonderful. It is a new era for Rome and a new era for old Italy. Now, we will attempt to deal with the debt. Once we get the interest rate below 2%, we'll be fine. Gueseppe Galli is a smart man, a very smart man. He understands that debt is but a number. It is the interest rate that one must fight. Once we have beaten it, as we do all of our enemies, we will continue our wars of expansion and the return of the Roman Empire to its full glory. How did they come back? They came back from zero? Oof. Cosa Nostra is trying to rebuild itself. We'll have to slaughter even more of them. They never learned their lesson. These criminal savages. You know what I think? I think Rome needs to take some advice from the past. In the old days, we made an example of criminals through a most convincing manner. I think we must undergo a great project to rebuild the Colosseum and to have members of the mafia fight to the death within it and all other petty criminals. Bread and circuses for the people, and a way of convincing those Italians of old who still are convinced that the mafia are an option, that the only things that they will find is the dirt floor of the Colosseum. We'll ask for European aid because we're staying in the EU. Stimulating the economy isn't cheap, and we were to directly borrow the money to do so from sovereign bonds, we could end up worsening the debt problem. The EU could provide us with a required amount of money for a low interest rate. Let's do it. It is time for us to begin our claims. The legacy of our past conquests extends far over the Alps and the Mediterranean Sea. We shall strive to restore that glory. But first, we're going to give ultimatum to the miners. It's time to tell the microstates of Italy that the government does not recognize their right to exist. They will submit to the new Duce, or our new black shirt legions will march on them. So we're gonna try and make the Pope leave. He's a goddamn heretic. We must take back the Vatican City and destroy the old pagan symbols and rebuild the great temples of old to honor the gods in the Pantheon. You see, in the old days, Rome was not a stupid country. It understood that the diplomacy and war can both be used for the expansion. Gueseppe Galli understands this, which is why we will seek to not invade San Marino, the Vatican, and others. We will attempt to bring them directly into the fold. All right, we gave the ultimatum. The Vatican City is accepted. The heretic pagan Pope will be pushed out of the city and sent off to do the gods know what. San Marino refused, and so did Malta. Only the Vatican City agreed, so we have a casus belli now on the other ones. We'll kill them later. Next, we're going to demand the throne of Albania. Wonderful to see that the Vatican City is now ours once more. We will start by destroying all memories of the pagan Christians and replace them with the exaltations of the Pantheon and our gods. Factory count's looking really good, 104 by 2006. We have enough SIDS, we're gonna start to really take off. Our factory count's gonna go through the roof. That doesn't count office complexes, I don't think either. Does it still do that? Yeah. Just a heads up, guys, your factory count, it doesn't include your office complexes. So your factory count and other countries' factory counts, they can be very deceiving. Because office complexes make you very fucking strong. We need to get better ICBM tech if we want to get all of these. All right, the Roman Empire is beginning its space program. We shall always stay at the cutting edge of industry and warfare. So we must build ourselves a missile and space program. Something Roman? Yeah, if you guys want... Oh, Albania accepted. Wonderful. The power of the Roman Empire is obvious. And as such, Albania has accepted our rule. A far better rule. One where their citizens will not be beholden to false democratic governments and their laziness and degeneracy. Wonderful, almost done with this war. We have gotten ourselves some very strong divisions, which is exactly what we will need to take back all of Europe and the world itself. All right, we're going to the Kinshasa. Roman troops didn't make it in time, god damn it. There it is. There it is. We won the war for them. It is over. Border is certainly there, but it's not as bad. Now we have nationalists in power in the Congo, which is exactly what I wanted. The Roman Empire, in its first major intervention, destroyed the Western Outlook forces and had the nationalists take power. A victory for Rome and a victory for the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. We have stopped our wars of conquest for years as we rebuilt and destroyed the inefficiency in Rome itself. But with Vatican City restored, the gods heralded in all their glory, and our problems gotten rid of, Rome may once again prepare to take back what is rightfully hers. We shall begin with Africa, but soon Europe itself will fall to our might. Gueseppe Galli is not a short-sighted man. He thinks long into the future, and under his rule, we shall see many, if not all, of our lands returned, if we are patient and believe in the dream that is and was Rome. Ladies and gentlemen, it was in Egypt that Mark Antony once hid with his consort. And through that, the wars of Octavian Augustus, the beginning of true Rome was born. Much like the days of old, Egypt will be the catalyst for the return and glory of the Roman Empire. Praise be, and may Jupiter guide us in all wars. Egypt took it all. Oh, I fucked up with a coup, man. What the fuck? We fought that whole war for nothing. All right, new plan. Where Germany had Alsace-Lorraine, Rome had the whole of France. Don't worry, we will take back Gaul. Those barbarians now have missile systems and modern weapons to defend them, but they are the same barbarians that we met and conquered long ago. They will fall like all the others. It is time to end the conquest of North Africa and take back where once those fire-worshipping devils in Carthage once lived. We stamped out Carthage, and we will stamp out Tunis. We will salt the earth upon which they built their degenerate empire, and with it, we'll bring back the beginning of Rome. That should cap them. Yep. Come on, come on. No NATO, we're good. We killed them before NATO could respond. Carthago, Delenda, Esti. Uh-oh, America didn't like that. That's fine. That's fine. All right, now we can core all of Carthage. Oh, the US is pissed. All right, we can't do this anymore. Next time we snipe a country that's Western outlook, they will join the war. So that was our one freebie there. There it is. Romanize Carthage. The region of Carthage is mostly modern-day Tunisia. It will help us to jumping off point from Sicily and Sardinia to stage conquest close to Italy. So in around 2 years, we'll get a course on it, which is fantastic. I think we got rid of the mafia. Oh shit, guys! For decades, their shady businesses were allowed to take place, but never again will something like this happen. Our reforms to target organized criminality in every possible way turned to be the most successful reforms ever. Italy is now mafia-free. No longer will a population, especially in southern Italy, suffer from them. All right, we got rid of them. Wow. Who would have believed that some years ago? Probably no one. But we can say for certain right now that the last remains of what was once called the mafia are now gone. The last leaders of the feared criminal organization were processed lately, and even though some activity could still be happening in the shadows, the mafia as a whole has finally been taken down. Wow. They're gone. We fucking did it, boys. Operation No Mafia is a success. Okay, so what in the lore of this game, when we raided those mafia hideouts, in the news that we said we killed all of them, but in reality, we didn't. Much like many other of the enemies of Rome, members of the mafia and the hideouts we raided have been taken into the desert camps that we have in Libya, where both re-education and imprisonment happen outside of the view of regular Romans in the Italian peninsula. They will stay there until such time as Ri has restored the Colosseum, and many of those mafiosos will be turned into gladiators and be forced to fight to the death. So they're currently stuck in camps in the Libyan desert until such time as the Colosseum is reborn. But the public doesn't know about that. It's a private program that only Gueseppe Galli and his advisors know about. Now that we have the mafia, you know what? Fuck it. I don't need these casus bellis. We have something far more important to do. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to concentrate all of our government efforts on restoring the integrated restoration and restore the Colosseum. But we will begin with Italian industry. Italian industry experienced a boom during the Cold War period, and it is our duty to keep improving our industry to make sure that our position between the world powers remains strong. This will lead us down to our decisions. We will bring back the Colosseum and restore other heritage sites, and then we will build a Roman space program. Because, much like the Rome of old, we must always be on the cutting edge of all new technologies. Although they are nationalistic, they're at war with China? Wait, when the fuck did that happen? China and Russia are at war? Whoa. That's such a good thing for us. Two of the world's greatest powers are locked in warfare and will continue to destroy their economies and their peoples. And they will not be looking to the Mediterranean, as I suspect will the Americans. We have taken back Carthage. We will rest on our laurels for now and prepare. We must have a satellite network. We must have an advanced economy, and we must have a space program before we can even consider the great reconquista, the great reconquest of Roman lands. For we are going to begin the greatest undertaking in European and Italian history. We need to get a proper navy too. How many ships do we have? Oh, a lot. We have another 24 frigates too. Once we get, like, we have 75 frigates that once we refit are gonna be fucking strong. I think at this point we probably have, I'd say, the 3rd or 4th best navy in the world. When we refit them, the only people who will compete with us navally is the US. So we're in a very good position. Rome's legions were what made it strong, but its navy is not to be forgotten, and nor shall we. Our ICBMs are in the works. Once we get some ICBM techs, we can make OLVs, which will allow us to launch satellites in orbit. So we can build a satellite network. We really need to get satellite network before we fight NATO, because NATO will have access to a ridiculously strong network. We also need more trains for some fucking reason. Germany, what you doing there, buddy? Sure, we'll take the Germans' money. They're traitors trying to appease us, and we'll let them. We'll lose some influence, but it's fine. All right, we have Testudo IFVs now. Which country will you invade next? We're about to puppet Egypt. When we fall and go to war, we're gonna go to war with Syria and Iran. That'll be our next big war. We're gonna navally invade through Latakia, Tartus. We'll take Syria, and then from there, we'll launch a naval invasion from our Egyptian puppet in the Suez, and we'll take Iran. That's our next war. It's gonna be a tough one, so that's what we're preparing for. But yeah, China is starting to push into Russian territory under their new leader, Zhang Qinghong. We could send troops to help out the Russians, but frankly, I don't think we will. I think we'll let them burn. While Russia and China fight, we grow stronger. Enlarge the engine of Europe. Lombardy is known to be one of the most dynamic regions in Europe, which has strengthened its role as the engine that will power our growth and our military-industrial complex. There will be no teaming up! Ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of suggestions that Rome should work with territories that are ours by right and by heritage. Rome knows no ally other than Jupiter and Mars. We will put all of those nations underneath our direct rule. Rome does not need allies. We have all that we need and more. Leading Rome poet Horace said, Graecia capta ferum victoriam capit, capta Greek captured by a rude emperor. When the Romans invaded and conquered Greece, they did not extinguish Greek culture, instead they embraced it, yet fully adopting Greek philosophy and the arts that spread them across the empire. Yes, they did. Since Rome had allies. Oh, I'm not saying we're gonna be like the Rome of old, that voice cracked. I'm saying that the new Rome does not need allies, and we will not have them. We will do everything on our own, Condor. Great projects. Many such neat infrastructure projects have been opposed by the so-called Not in My Backyard, or NIMBY committee, all around the country. We need to reduce their influence on local administration to be able to reliably push forward new great projects. You're goddamn right. Integrated restoration. Italy is filled with the ruins of the past. Some of them are in extremely good condition, and with enough resources and capable hands, they could once again become a living part of our cities, like the Roman arena in Verona. So this will allow us to actually rebuild the Colosseum so that we can have actual gladiator fights. All right, we have begun the process of restoring the great relic sites of old for Rome. Now we will build a true Roman space program so that we can enter into the future. We've always been on the cutting edge of science and technology, and now should be no different. Rome has been the third nation after the USA and the USSR to autonomously launch a satellite into space. Years have passed since the San Marco, but exploration is still of the utmost importance. We must take advantage of the scientific spring in our nation to increase our commitment into space by granting extra support to the Roman Space Agency and ensure a good starting position in the next space race. After decades of study, we have an almost perfect understanding of the technology used by our ancestors to build many of the great monuments in our country. We can replicate them to rebuild these monuments and invigorate these glorious structures. All right, we are going to rebuild the Colosseum. Despite being partially destroyed by earthquakes and looting, the Colosseum is still an awe-inspiring symbol of the heights achieved by Roman civilization. Its intended use might be too barbaric for the current era. Ha, not at all. Its intended use, I read that, but it can still become the prime stage for shows and concerts in the heart of the capital. We are going to use it to bring back gladiatorial combat by putting our enemies to fight in the Colosseum. I think I'll follow low-key, PP. Next, we will restore the Fori Imperiali. Mussolini's attempts to restore the Fori Imperiali have caused much damage than benefits. The time we'll do things the right way and build a new heart of our ancient capital. We will restore Pompeii, and we will also restore the Valley of Temples. Those will take over 3 years to do. So, one day, in 3 years, We are currently keeping all of our enemies in re-education camps in the Libyan desert. When the Colosseum is rebuilt, we will have a steady supply of gladiators to fight for the enjoyment of all Romans, which will of course be broadcast on state Roman TV. We actually get a bunch of decisions for space mining, which is really cool. The devs are going to actually expand on that eventually. I know they've delayed it a little bit, but the plans the devs have for space shit in this mod is out of this world, one might say. I apologize, but that needed to be said. I apologize. This would be useful. Bridge over the Strait of Messina. A bridge over the Strait of Messina has been a dream for more than a century. Many governments have attempted to realize this dream. All of them have failed until now. So we're going to basically build a bridge that crosses this. This is really wide, so this is going to be really hard to do. But if we build that, we can invest more into Sicily. And since it's becoming a bit of a hub for more advanced companies to harbor their offices, I think that we should absolutely do that.